All right, here we go. Another day of filming. Things are looking good, feeling good. Just got my MRI for my leg. I had surgery a couple years ago on the leg, ACL reconstruction. So we're gonna see the muscle, see if there's any tears, see what the condition is. Based on that, we're gonna make a decision on multiple things like how we box, when we're gonna do the fight, because I am still wanting to do a fight this year. We're just gonna see how the leg feels. I feel good though, my leg feels really good. The service that I have, they scheduled all this stuff for me. Setting up schedules for blood work, physical therapy, going to the hospital, they set everything up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my peptides. Yeah, today's gonna be a normal day. We're gonna go to the mall. Of course, I have some business stuff and I have some new announcements. And we don't wanna put this part in, but I do wanna talk about this. I'm actually building my business to exit. So what we're doing is we're doing a lot of internal stuff with the team and adding more infrastructure. And we're basically gonna make my business turnkey because I have built my business in a way where it makes sense for me. But the plan is to build it with really good infrastructure so that I can pass it off to somebody else. And then I can full-time do coaching, consulting, all this work, all the content online, expand my influence in the world. And that's the plan. So let's see what happens here. I'm about to do cardio and I'll probably do progress pics right after that. So yeah, that's kind of like what we're up to nowadays. We're trying to have kids right now. I've been on testosterone for a long time, so my fertility is not completely there, so we're boosting it up. We're on protocols for that. So this health company is helping me with all that stuff, and praise God, hopefully, we're gonna have a family soon. So that is the goal.
I best some fertility.
I like that, thank you.
The most thing that changed your life after you start peptide?
The thing that changed my life with peptides, I think I would say it wasn't just the peptides. I would say it's more like the way that the program is built, that it's very easy. Meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, take the peptides and just follow the plan and reap the rewards.
There's a kind of mystery, right? About this thing in here.
Yeah.
Especially outside the United States, right?
In the United States, I'm glad because it's getting normalized. And I don't want to spread false news, but I saw this thing on Instagram the other day, and it said that the US military give peptides to soldiers. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that sounds right. So that's why I believe that, one, all men should definitely get their testosterone checked. Like when I went in to get my testosterone check 8 years ago, and pretty much the doctor just told me like, hey, you're at a normal level. And I'm thinking in my head like, dude, this isn't normal. Like this fatigue and this low energy and not being focused, this isn't normal. Then I was like, okay, let me find another like men's clinic. And before that time, I literally tried to like build up my test, use supplements, do a lot of natural things, and nothing really worked. So that's when I later on hopped on TRT. And long story short, my point of all this is that I think that the medical system, they're just going off of like averages, which doesn't mean that you're gonna feel good with those averages. You're just gonna be healthy. So that was my point. By the way, this fucking service is like breakthrough shit. Honestly, this is probably the most muscular and fit that I've been in my life. When I first started this whole thing, I had these big needles that I used to use. They're like this big. And then I figured out like a couple years ago, you could just use insulin needles. And I was like, wow, all these years I've been jamming these fucking big ass needles in my legs right here. And all the doctors are like, oh, use insulin needles to inject testosterone. But there are studies that the insulin needles have the same effect as the true intramuscular needles. I'm not a doctor, but they're right about that. I know that from personal experience. The test, and we finished the peptides. We're gonna go on a bike ride right now. I've been doing this thing with my bike where I go at least an hour a day, especially because I can't go to the gym. I might do a little bit more, but I go on the bike ride and I just do like visualizations where I want my life to be at. Think about next goals. When I was young, when I played soccer, all I thought about was soccer all day, every day. I've always been the type of person that I just visualize things. That's really important to achieve your goals, because when you visualize things, your brain doesn't know if it's real or not. It just marks it as real. But I will say, the older you get, the more you feel you get beat down by life a little bit. So you stop being a kid, you stop those processes. If I don't visualize for a long time or a couple days, I have to actively get into my visualization, write it down, and just kind of get into that state. And biking helps me get into that state.
What is the menu for today?
This is a new company that we're working with here in Brazil, the food company. It's just my preference. They have too much carbs for me. Actually, come on, let's go take a look. I want to show you all this anyways. Fuck it. This is free branding for them. Protein and good portions. This one right here, this is new. I don't know if you know who they are. Costa Fit.
I don't know.
So I wanted to switch up the menu with Levy, because I was eating a lot of the same stuff. But this one, the thing I don't like about this one is it's got too much carby, rice, pasta, blah, blah, blah. And I like the meat. Honestly, I like eating meat way 10 times more. So when you're trying to eat very healthy, it's not necessarily about being comfortable. It's about getting the results, eating the right stuff, and just doing your best. But honestly, I can't complain. That's a first world problem. It's not a big deal. So the company that I work with, they make sure all this stuff is good. I just said something hey, the meals are a little bit redundant right now. That was it, and then they switched up quickly. It never can be perfect, but I will say this, I'm glad I'm not hungry. Got a lot of food in my belly, good food. Yeah, today I'm eating early today because, I don't know, I've been eating early recently a lot. I'm not having any issues with overeating. I'm eating early. It just depends on the day. Sometimes I'll eat at 12 o'clock in the day. Sometimes I'll eat really, really early. It just depends on how I feel, but I usually eat 8, 1 or 2. Yeah, good. So I want to show you guys, I do a check-in form with them, and then I also do a call with them weekly. The meal plan this week, how was your training, libido, energy, sleep. So that's another thing, how they keep track on top of so many other different things. But this is a main one, and then I get on the call with them weekly and talk about this stuff and go over, what we can improve on and stuff like that every single week. So one of the questions is, how was the meal plan this week? And just like I said earlier, I like more protein based. So this week I'm gonna tell them it was too carby. Next week they're gonna give me all protein. Oh, we're going to this place called Eat Kitchen. Do you know where that's at? It's in front of the big hotel. Yeah. So it's a 10-minute ride, sort of. First meeting. Let's go to our first meeting. No bullshit. We're gonna go eat, and then I have a meeting.
How many meetings today?
I always have 3 to 4 meetings per day, but today I'm gonna be in creation mode. I am gonna be selling my business, and I don't know if Thad's gonna be putting that in here or not, but maybe we put this on another vlog. But yeah, I'm gonna be having meetings about that today. Because my consulting business is exploding. It's I don't need to even have the resell business as much. What I'm gonna be doing the next 90 days is I'm going to be building it to sell it. I have some buyers already. I never ever built this business to think that I was gonna sell it one day. And now I am selling it, and now I'm putting in structure and making sure that it's sellable and it's ready to hand off. So that's it. Peace. Yeah. Dude, the funny thing is, see, look, they leave the phone out here and it's not getting stolen. Absolutely. This place is crazy safe, I'm not gonna lie. Ella es poquito diferente.
O que foi no suco aí, Kaká?
O que tá indo ainda? É pitaia, ananás, gengibre, manjericão e limão.
É bom pra quê?
Esse daí, ele, além de queimar calorias, ele também vai refrescar o organismo.
She got a better drink than me. Oh, you know what? This stuff right here is in there.
But this place is interesting because I'll run by here early in the morning and this place is like open, like anybody could come in here and just like do whatever they want. But this place is so safe. So it's just interesting because in America we close the doors, but here it's different. It's open market. I just don't understand that though. Like you go to other parts of Brazil and it's like you can't put your phone out. You can't do this in the middle of the day. It's crazy.
What's the hardest thing you have ever gone?
Man, the hardest thing I had to go through was definitely whenever I injured my leg. Honestly, that was one of the worst times of my life. I got surgery. All of a sudden, I was bedridden for, I don't even know. I hadn't been bedridden in my whole life. So imagine you injure your leg, you can't really work it, and you're basically fucked. The crazy, interesting part of that was I knew inside of me, I knew that I was like, God, this isn't the end of me. Because at that time, the diabetic supply business, where I had to be up walking around and meeting people to buy their supplies, I made it work. That is when I figured out how to do this business online. Because of that incident is the reason why I'm here today in Brazil. Literally, that was the worst time of my life.
How do you think DTS is better business model than real estate wholesaling?
The diabetic resale industry is better than real estate, and here's why. So like the diabetic resale industry, like if you start that as an entrepreneur, I believe it's much better than wholesaling, much better than a lot of things with real estate. The reason why is because one, you don't need a lot of money to start. I know in wholesaling you don't, but there's a big learning curve in wholesaling because I did wholesaling for many years. And when I got good at this business and I was making $500 a day really, really fast and really easily, that probably took me like 6 months to do that. And then it took me about a year to get to $1,000 a day, pretty fast. So long story short is this business is easy. Like I literally started this business with $200 and you know, that was it.
What is the moment that you have left the most health?
The most richest I felt was actually I was the most out of shape and bad health time of my life. So it wasn't good. And yeah, no, I just made crazy money, like 40K a day at one point. So was it the best time of my life? Definitely not. Now my highest goal is to buy and sell businesses and invest. And that's what we're going to be doing. And I like to make content. I like to help people.
I always think you would be an entrepreneur.
That's a good question. Let's just say this. I never thought I would never be an entrepreneur in the classical sense. I thought one thing, I was like, I want to be a chiropractor so I can make a bunch of money and I'll just have my clients and no one will fuck with me. I had this mindset at that time of my life. I was like 21 years old. Well, I was like, I just want to make money and fuck everybody. You know, I literally felt like that. And then when I did the Landmark Forum, which is a self-development program, whatever, one thing I realized, I wanted to really help people. I realized that I love people and I wasn't like some cloudy negative person like I was at that time. And I found out on real estate and sales, that's when I got introduced to sales and real estate and business, that there's no ceiling. And that's another reason why I like the DTS too. Yeah, I never really thought I would become like an entrepreneur type of person. Never in the classical sense. I thought I would be a doctor, like a chiropractor, and that's it. Baby, ¿tú sabes este? Cuando muy joven, yo creo, soy una quiropractor.
Did you ever work a job?
I guess my first real job was when I worked for Xerox. I was a sales executive in Lakeland, Florida. I think I was like 22 or 23, something like that. That's where I got my first real job, I guess you could say. I really learned a lot about like sales and entrepreneurship and marketing. As a sales executive, you have to You're basically a business owner, I would say, honestly, more than anything, because you have to create. So it was an interesting time in my life for sure. I figured a lot out about myself too, when it comes to, okay, how bad do you want it? You know, because that job was not easy. Calling people, walking into establishments, walking into like offices all day. I had to grow a lot.
Off to the boardroom. See you later.
Be careful.
Me encanta el Porsche que viene ahí.
Follow grid.
Meetings are everything, honestly. Team building, building connection with your teammates. Unpopular opinion, working more actually makes you more poor. AI cannot make good content. Personal things like this, real feelings, real emotions,